So before we wrap up this episode, we have a surprise guest who's dropping by to share some very exciting news, some very exciting Bachelor Nation news. It's funny to think, though, that not too long ago, we were sitting here, Becca, you and I, having a blast, probably having a little too much fun, going through cast photos and bios. And now this one's a part of the famty. Shall we bring her in? Hey,
we
fam.
shall.
Hey, Hannah Ann.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
How's it going?
It's going good. A lot's changed since last time I saw y'all.
Like what? Like what?
The whole world. You know, like that's such a special time because that's literally the very last day that we were around people.
Yes,
Yeah.
That is very true. So it's so funny because Rachel, when you were introing her, I thought you were going to say, like, we were all sitting around, doing the podcast after Peter's finale, and it was like this special girl gang. But you're right. That's the last day that we were around people before everything shut down. Everyone had to lock in their homes.
Yeah, within 48 hours, it was like, boom.
So you were overcoming this very, very fresh breakup. You were going through, I'm sure, a heartbreak in quarantine. Like, what has that been like, for these past 6 months for you?
The past 6 months, I mean, there's been so much that's changed in like our world. And also it's like I moved across the country, like right after the show, like literally right after. So it's just adjusting to like a new life, a new environment, a new lifestyle with everything. So everything's just been new and different and challenging this year. So I might as well just like continue to embrace it. But it's been great having privacy, honestly, just to like digest things that I didn't really knew I would have to digest.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Becca.
Well, I was going to say, not everything is terrible and hard to digest because you have some great news that's happening, like, in a couple days?
Yes, in a couple of days. Well, exactly 2 days. Clickbait with Bachelor Nation will officially be airing. I'm really excited about this because it's a little bit different than y'all's podcast. It's more focused on pop culture. And my co-hosts will be Tayshia and Grocery Store Joe, which are like the most awesome people.
So I'm going to ask you the obvious question because this is what I do. Now, we get it. We get like why y'all are doing this podcast. But when I say we, Becca and I, like, we understand it. We get it. We've met the three of you. We understand why you're together. But for those who don't, I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, how in the world did Hannah Ann, Tayshia, and Grocery Store Joe get a podcast together? Tell us why it works and why it's happening and why everybody should subscribe to Clickbait.
Yeah, it is the most random group. I will definitely credit that. But when we're all together, it's really neat because we all three are very open-minded and we like hearing different opinions. But we also all three come from very different backgrounds and have very different perspectives on every headline. And we aren't afraid to voice our opinions, but also be like respectful of one another's views. So it's a lot of banter. I banter back mostly with Grocery Store Joe. Me and Tayshia try not to team up on him too much, but we all seem to like get along well. It's just been really neat because I think about how you guys do your podcast and like you two are both like very different, but also I feel like the closer and the more you know about your co-host, the better the show is. And so it's also, aside from podcast, it's just been really great getting to know them. And we all three have like worked really hard and trying to come out with some good content for everyone.
I can't wait because like you said, you guys are all so different. You're going to bring something unique and fresh and so many different points of view that I think people from all across the country can tune in and listen to and relate to at least one of you, if not multiple. Okay, if you could have a dream guest on your podcast, who would it be to interview for Clickbait?
Oh, my dream guest would be Addison Rae.
Okay.
Who is that?
She's a TikTok star.
See, and this is why you're doing a podcast about pop culture and clickbait. Wait, I have to tell you this really quickly. I went to BOA the other day, safely. My sister's in town. Took her to BOA. Outdoor seating, social distancing, wearing our mask. And we get out. And there's all this paparazzi. I'm like, great, like who's here? Yeah. And I see this chick and she looks like Ariana Grande, but I know it's not Ariana Grande, right? Because A-list celebs don't talk to the paparazzi. And this guy dressed in overalls and a football helmet and fuzzy flip-flops and this girl who looks like Ariana Grande are talking to the paps. And I'm like, what's going on here? So then we're waiting for our table, and this guy's like, oh, they're TikTok stars. And I'm like, you're kidding me? There are 8 paparazzi here for TikTokers? Yes. I don't even know who these people are. And then he's like, well, it gets bigger. These TikTokers are battling these TikTokers who are celebrating a birthday inside. And I was like, I've never felt more old in my life. That's why you're hosting clickbait, and we aren't.
I love keeping up with the TikTok drama. I was telling Joe about that the other day. He was like, what? It's like,
does Joe have a TikTok?
I don't think so.
I hope he doesn't, because I want some, like, I'm so bad with all of these new apps. Like, I have not made a Reels. I barely go on TikTok. So, Rachel, thank God, like, the grandmas can sit back and do Happy Hour.
Yeah.
But I want Joe to, like, make me feel a little bit, like, less old. So he's like, what the hell is going on with TikTok? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, Joe and I see everything differently. It's really
it's gonna be so
See,
good.
that's interesting. See, like, that's worth, like, the click and the follow and the subscribe, because, like you said, yeah, you're talking about pop culture, but you're all bringing a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the arguments. I can't wait for the debates. I can't wait for Joe to be totally clueless. He's not going to be grocery store Joe. He's going to be old man Joe. Old man Joe. And we don't just, like, we want to go deeper than just the headlines. Like, we want to talk about how it's affecting us. It's not just like a gossip sesh, not at all. We're wanting to, like, really see, like, the impact that it's making on our lives, because we're all 3 very different, and really, like, be able to, like, build a community and, like, get feedback and, really draw our audience in, because our audience hopefully will be very broad range. This is great. Oh, go ahead.
I can't wait. Well, before we let you go, I want to ask you, was the very first podcast you ever did with Rach and I after the finale?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. The very first one. And now look, it's come full circle. We're like this big, happy Bachelor family.
I know. And you guys do such a great job. You guys really do.
Thank you.
You will too. We're your muses. I'm just going to go ahead and label us that, since she did our podcast first. Yeah. And now we're all a part of this family. You guys, go check out Clickbait. It comes out in 2 days, first episode. You don't want to miss it. Hannah, you did a great job explaining it, because I truly feel like everyone's like, why are these 3 together? And then after hearing you talk about it, I'm like, I get it. Subscribe, follow. Where can they follow you on Instagram?
So everyone can follow us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Wondery app. And we're coming out October 1st, so make sure to mark your calendar.
I'm so excited for Hannah Ann, Joe, Tayshia. I feel like they have a lot to offer, and people are really going to get to hear them in a different way. It's one of those things where podcasting is like, you think you know people, but you really don't until you get to hear from them, like, in a non-scripted, non-televised, free forum space,
Yes. Yeah. Oh, totally. And I think it'll be good, because I think so many people that follow us from the show only see what's on our Instagrams, or in other people's instances, TikToks. But this is such a good way where, like, their personalities can shine, their opinions can come out. So it's going to be a fun listen. 2 days, 48 hours, October 1st. Check out Clickbait.
Yeah. And I like what Hannah Ann said. It's not just about the headlines. It's about how it impacts us. That's great. Yeah, guys, they're going to go deep. It's going to be so much more than clickbait.